Hey guys, what's going on and welcome back to a brand new video, and today we are going to be going over the best Wonder Kids you can sign inside of Football Manager 2023. But before we do get into this Wonder Kids video, guys, I just want to clear up a couple of things. The first one is going to be, obviously, I can't include every Wonder Kid. The video would be hours upon hours, so if you guys do want to see another Wonder Kids video, possibly of the more budget type players, because this one is purely the best of the best, so you might need a little bit of money to get some of them. Some of the players you are going to know, so I don't, I know the comments are going to be like, oh, we know this, we know that, but I am purely making the best Wonder Kids, but there are going to be some players in here you haven't heard of as well. So let's get into this video, and if you guys do enjoy this type of content on the channel, be sure to leave a like below, subscribe, and also comment who you're going to sign off this list. So we're going to start off in goal. This is going to be one of three goalkeepers. The first one is going to be Martin van der Voort, obviously previously a Wonder Kid as well, a fantastic option. Already got very well-rounded attributes on him. He is 20 years of age and around the 30 to 40 million mark. On this one, he has already made a sign and he's already agreed a contract, but that's because I did have to sim to actually get hold of the stats. So this guy is one of my top recommendations, but not the best one we have. The next option we have for around £24 million, 21-year-old Georgi Marmadashvili. I hope that's how you say that. Again, a very good option. Great jumping on him, great command in area, great communication, reasonably tall as well. So this guy, again, is a fantastic option, slightly cheaper than the previous option I just showed you. The last and best option, and we all know who it is, this is going to be Anatoly Trubin. Obviously, a fantastic goalkeeper. Pretty much my go-to on the last game. Semple is exactly the same height as the previous one we just showed you, but this guy is going to get that little bit better and is definitely the best one. Not too pricey either, between 27 and 39 million. 20 years of age, so you've got to take into account, you sign someone at 20 in goal, you could literally have almost 20 years worth of a goalkeeper, so he has got years to grow, even way beyond these attributes. On to the centre-backs now, and this is going to be a very familiar one. As I said, there are going to be ones that you do know, and the occasional one you might not know. And if you guys do want to see one with players that I guarantee you won't know, so, the lower standard of Wonder Kids, possibly the more budget ones, then do comment below, and I'm happy to go over them as well. But Guardio, a fantastic player, obviously coming from one of the most talented, they make so much talent, RB Leipzig, so they're always going to have players you can poach. 48 to 57 million, 20 years of age, already got so many great attributes. He's rapid, reasonably tall, great tackling, great work rate, good teamwork, and like I said, only 20 years of age. So this guy, in my opinion, if you can afford him, is a must. We then go over to a centre-back that can go potentially to about 3 to 4 stars. That is going to be Armel Bella Kotchap, not Ketchup. 20 years of age. This guy, again, very good. Slightly taller, slightly less taller, sorry, there. Again, very rapid. 15 pace, 14 acceleration, reasonably good tackling. 30 to 43 million. So he's a touch cheaper. But in my opinion, if you could afford Guardio, I would push that a little bit extra and get him. But this guy is a good shout to have in the video. We're not done there with centre-backs, and this guy is one of my favourite ones. 3-star potential, but I have seen him go way and beyond that. 23 to 28 million is another reason why I really would recommend this player. He's already pretty much pre-built. His tackling could actually do with a little bit of work, so one thing I will say for a centre-half, and he is slightly smaller. But in my opinion, whatever team I've signed this guy in on the last Football Manager, he was really good. So I have no doubt that you guys are going to enjoy this guy. And for that price tag at the age of 20, spirited personality, reasonably good attributes right off the rip, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. Now, if you're looking for a centre-back that can also play in midfield, more the defensive side of the midfield, then this is going to be your option. And not just that, he is honestly outrageous centre-back. Very, very good. 20 years of age, is going to be Tanguy Nianzou. Again, reasonably cheap. You could probably get this guy and the previous player I just showed for around 60 million, which is not bad for two Wonder Kids at the back, and I feel like they would complement each other quite well. This guy, again, has got reasonably good attributes right from the rip. Some things you would wish for better, the tackling 13, possibly I'd like to have my centre-backs 15 if I can, but obviously 13 is still quite high. Obviously, the max is 20, so it's not ridiculously far off, and this guy can grow. Obviously, he's got to grow like an extra star and a half or above and beyond that, and for that price, in my opinion, I think you have to go inside him. On to the right backs then, and the first one is going to be Nathan Patterson from Everton, 49 to 58 million pounds. One thing about Wonderkid fullbacks, they are pricey. I will warn you. This guy, again, absolutely fantastic. Reasonably good tackling as well for a fullback. Quite quick, great stamina, good determination. And I feel like this guy would be a fantastic signing to have. 20 years of age as well. Obviously, all of these players are going to be quite young, and that is what makes them so good. The one thing that this guy has over some of the other players is that model citizen personality as well. One of my favourite right-backs of all time on Football Manager, that is going to be Tino Livramento, purely because of how good he was for me last Football Manager. And this guy, for me, is the real package. What we are going to say about this guy as well, he's very similar in terms of what the attributes you get right from the rip. Very similar growth as well. This player is going to cost you quite a bit more. So if you are on a budget, obviously go for Patterson, but for me, if I had the money, I would definitely go for Livramento, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are playing as these bigger teams or building up budgets, so you could go out and get this player. And obviously, one thing I want to clear up, these prices will fluctuate from save to save, so just because this is what it is for me, this is a rough guided area. But no, this guy, again, is exactly what you want in any side. The last right back, and this one is for you, the people that like a bit of pace in their side, and probably the most creative one we have on display purely because of the pace. Now, his tackling does need work. It is just above 10, sitting at 11. But with Tyrick Lamptey, you are getting a 21-year-old who has got so much potential in terms of attacking from the right-hand side. His acceleration is actually 20 with 16 pace. The guy is absolutely rapid, reasonably short, but this guy is a certain type of player that fits into a certain system, in my opinion. He's a very good right back. He's not the best one-on-one defender, but you guys obviously can train him. You can get him better at that situation. And like I said, he's only 21. He's got the potential ability in him as well, sitting at around 68 to 81 million pounds. So quite a pricey player, but if you've got the money to spend on him, I think he'd be a great player to develop. Now, I said the last right back. That was a little lie because this guy actually come up as a winger when I scouted him. Obviously, he is originally a right back, but he can play all the way up this right-hand side, as I'm showing you here. And this guy, again, I take back what I said. This guy probably is the most creative fullback that I am going to be showing you today, because this guy, again, is really, really good. I think the oldest player I've actually had in here, but still only 22, and at 39 million, trust me, you cannot go wrong with this guy. Fantastic crossing, amazing bravery, good determination, good flair, great off the ball, good, very good tackling for a fullback, reasonably quick as well, 16 acceleration, 16 agility, 17 natural fitness, and 15 pace. Fairly determined personality. In my opinion, this is probably the best right back out of all of them. Going over to the left backs, and we've got slightly less of these to show, but the first one is going to be Luke Thomas. This guy's a fantastic option. We signed him in a few rebuilds last year as well. And right off the bat, you are getting a solid left back, obviously with room to improve. He is only 21 years of age. He is going to set you back 38 to 45 million. Typically, Wonderkids in the Premier League are always going to cost a little bit more because you are playing for the English talent. And obviously, you know, English players traditionally do go for a lot more than what foreign players do go for, which makes no sense. But that's just how football is. Crossing, very good, sitting at 15, good tackling, good pace, good acceleration. And in my opinion, if you need a fullback for the next sort of 9 to 10 years to grow, you're willing to take a shot on someone, I'll definitely go with Luke Thomas. Now, we're also going to throw in this one everyone knows, and I think if you don't, where have you been living? Because this player is very well known. That is going to be Nuno Mendes. And this guy, again, a very, very good option. Slightly cheaper, obviously, as I said, typically the English players are quite overpriced. So I personally would go for this guy if you're on a little bit of a more of a restricted budget. And to be honest, you probably will end up with a slightly better player. This guy can do it all. Great tackling, reasonably quick as well. Again, quite good with the old crossing, 14 crossing, 15 anticipation. Quite a good fullback right from the rip. And obviously, he can grow and also can play in a slightly more advanced position as well. So in my opinion, this guy and Luke Thomas are two great shouts for you to get. But in my opinion, taking the price into account, I know I went with Luke Thomas before, but looking at this again, I would say this guy. Midfield time, and this is going to be defensive midfielders, central midfielders, attacking midfielders, all mixed in. So make sure you watch because there's going to be quite a few players for you guys. The first one is going to be more of a defensive midfielder. That is going to be Amadou Onana from Everton, a very, very big handful. The only thing I will say about this player, I really rate his potential. I think his quality. Already, when you buy this player, you've got a fantastic player. Great tackling, rapid in midfield, and I think he would really be good. The only thing I do not agree with is his price. His price is absolutely outrageous. I think he's very overpriced for the player he is. But obviously, if you guys do for some reason do an Everton save, do not sell him. Use this guy because he's absolutely outrageous. But if you do want and you can afford a player that has got tons of potential, rapid in midfield, strong as well, I would definitely suggest this guy. We're going from expensive to cheap now, and just because they're cheaper doesn't mean they're necessarily too worse. And this is going to be Warren Zaire-Emery from PSG. This guy will only set you back around £10 million. Right off the bat, he's by far not as good as some of the options I'm going to show you. But this guy has got one thing, and that is growth, growth, growth. He can grow way beyond what you can imagine, and probably quadruple easy above that value what you pay for him. This guy is a perfect shout if you want a midfield player that can eventually become what some of the top players are already when you buy them. And trust me, for that price tag, I'd snap him up. Now, I will warn you, the next 3 players are going to be quite well-known players, but this video is titled The Best Wonderkids, so they have to be in here. And that is going to be Eduardo Camavinga. This player is so, so good. Can play in several roles in midfield. Only 19 years of age. People still forget that. 56 to 68 million pounds. I'd say bang on a fair price for him, to be honest. You are buying... I mean, the stats, the attributes, whatever you want to call them, are so well-rounded already. And the fact he can grow beyond that is absolutely sensational. Obviously, even got the Wonderkid media description. But this player, in my opinion, he can play higher up. But he plays, in my opinion, probably a lot better, more defensive. That's where I would have him, personally. I've played him as sort of a deep-line playmaker, a ball-winning midfielder he's been really good in. And I think this guy, for that price tag, you know, you can't go too wrong with him. Now, the best young player in world football, in my opinion, in midfield, that is. This guy is, you know, he is so good. He's 19 years of age, but has got the maturity of like a Jordan Henderson. Honestly, outrageous. Quality on the ball, strong, can drive forward, can defend, can do it all. Now, the value, this player is going to set you back a little bit, around 100 million, but this is a player I've added because it would be disrespectful not to have him in the video. And this guy already comes with some of the best attributes you're going to see. 20 determination, perfectionist personality. Obviously a Wonderkid, obviously there. You're going to be signing someone who's already nearly a 4-star ability and can go way beyond that as well. This guy really is the true package, and it's very interesting to see where this guy's going to end up in real life as well. I'm hoping, I think he's going to go to Liverpool, which obviously won't be great for me. I am a United fan, but do let me know in the comments where you think Bellingham is going to end up. But trust me, if you can afford him, please just get him in. And if you can't afford him, then I would turn to Ryan Gravenberch. Again, a very similar type of player in terms of attributes. Some attributes are definitely going to be a little bit lower, but similar potential. If you could partner Bellingham and Gravenberch in the same midfield, you are not going to lose a game. Trust me, 20 years of age again. This player is pretty much going to cost you roughly half of what Bellingham would do. Around £50 million. Fantastic attributes still all the way around. There's so many that are around 15, as you can see. I am having to go a little bit quicker than what I would ideally want to, but there are a loads more players to show you guys. So please do take into account. I may try scouting all of these players so you can see everything and you can see exactly what's going on. But for me, this also is a fantastic midfield option. Now, I've also included another Bundesliga midfielder. Seems like they breed talent inside of that. I mean, they do. The Bundesliga provides some of the best talent in world football. We're going to turn to Mareba. Now, this guy, another Leipzig player, going to be slightly worse off than Jude and Gravenberch in terms of overall potential, but still a fantastic option. Great technique. To be honest, good finishing for quite a mid, I suppose like a Metzala type of player. Good determination, good flair. Not the quickest, to be fair, but he has got the strength, which, you know, I say he hasn't got the strength. In-game, trust me, this guy's got strength. I've seen it for myself. This guy is probably the option I'd get if I couldn't afford Gravenberch. I'm going to be honest, no disrespect to him. This player is only going to set you back around 28 million, and he's only 19, so you can definitely turn him into easily a 60 to 70 million pound player. I do apologise. I'll be disrespectful not to include this guy, wouldn't it? That is going to be Gavi. Now, this player is perfect for you guys that want to be playing this short, sweet, tiki-taka type football. But not just that. This guy has got a little bit of dirt in him as well. He loves a challenge, and he is right up my street as a player. Now, what you're going to be getting is a player already that has got good passing, good vision, good technique, good decisions, good determination, reasonably quick as well. So you are already buying a player that is very good. He can play several roles in midfield. I feel like I'm doing a sales pitch here. And he's only going to, I say only, he's going to cost you very similar to Gravenberch's price, around 56 to 66 million pounds. Now, we've got to get a bit of British talent in. I was going to include Phil Foden, but unfortunately, I've already got so many options. So I've gone with a slightly different one, which some people might not go for. That is going to be Cole Palmer. I have used him on a Bournemouth save, and this guy is actually really good. Around 40 to 59 million, so you are playing for that English flair again. So obviously that is nearly a Gravenberch price. This guy is definitely going to be more up the pitch and can also play on the right-hand side. Very good attributes, reasonably quick, quite good finishing as well, to be fair. Good technique, only 20 years of age. And in my opinion, obviously this price is going to change. If you play a few seasons and he doesn't have a great start, you can probably pick him up for quarter of the price. But definitely keep an eye on this player. This is sort of like a hot pick coming in from me. Musiala, obviously the only player in my opinion in the Bundesliga that does compete with Bellingham for potential. This player here is incredible. Obviously can play on the left hand side as well and also centralised. So two very good positions you can play him in there. 63 to 77 million pounds, 19 years of age, 4-star ability and 4-star potential as well. So you are buying a player that isn't at his max because he can go above and beyond that, but you are buying pretty much a pre-made player as well, which is a bonus in itself. Fantastic dribbling, one of the best. A great first touch, great technique, great determination, great flair, great agility on him. He's reasonably quick as well, so he can play on the wing if you wanted him to. For me, I did actually like playing him in a more of a centralised area, just because in my opinion that's where he thrives. But that all comes down to you guys where you want to play him. But again, a very good option. Now this one is going to be a little bit of a steal for you guys. He is going to be Paul Wanner from Bayern Munich. Now this guy is a cheaper option, 19 to 28 million, so not too expensive at all. Ridiculous potential on him. Again, he's very similar to some of the players I've shown you where you get them in, they've got okay attributes, possibly not exactly pre-made, but if you've got, you know, if you're playing with a team where he could be your best player and he's going to get game time, you're not going to let him rot on the bench, then do get this guy and build him up, because for 20 million with that potential on him, you can't really go wrong. So this would be a perfect option for you guys. He's 16 as well, by the way, so he's got years upon years to develop. This would be the perfect player for you if you can't afford your Musialas, your Bellinghams, etc, etc. Go out and sign a player like this. Trust me. This guy's been reasonably good in most football managers of late, I believe. And this, again, is a player who can play in several positions on the left-hand side, also centralised areas. Again, funny enough, I do prefer to play him centralised. That is going to be a Reina. I was going to say 19 years of age, 63 to 74 million. A lot of these higher upper echelon type of Bundesliga players are around the same price, so do take your pick. Obviously, got the media description as well. You are signing a 2.5-star ability with a 4-star potential ability. Now, in my opinion, this is a very, very good option because his attributes are well-rounded. He's the only downside to this player, and there is also potential other downside. Some of the other ones I did show you, which I did forget to mention. You've got to pay attention to the finishing. Now, if you're playing a system where your attacking midfielder never has a shot on goal or rarely does, it's not an issue. I know a lot of people, including myself, to be honest, I'm not usually too fussed on finishing, but I know some people do, you know, like their attacking midfield player to get into the box, have shots, so do take that into account. But he makes up in that with his dribbling. His passing's exceptional. Good technique, good off the ball, good natural fitness as well, and again, quite rapid for a central attacking midfielder. Now, the man on the thumbnail, that is going to be Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen, 64 to 91 million, so quite a gap in what you possibly could get to him. I would say around 60 would be a fair price, 19 years of age, so again, you've got years upon years to use this guy in. Very, very good in terms of shadow striker, attacking midfielder, advanced playmaker, reasonably rapid as well, a little bit slower than what Reina is, but he has got, I believe, slightly better finishing. He's got good dribbling, good first touch, good passing, good technique, good work rate, good vision, good flair. Do I need to say more? This guy really could be the full package, and like I said, you probably could get this guy for cheaper. A lot. What I would say is you're seeing these price tags and some of them are going to look very expensive. If you don't, obviously you're not going to be able to sign everyone. If you were to wait a season or two in, like for example, Camavinga, I got for about 30 million in one, I think that was on my Newcastle rebuild, when on that game, he could have been going from 90 to 100. It all depends on how they develop when they're at their club. So don't feel like what you see here is always going to be the price. It can fluctuate. Right, going over to some wingers now, left and right hand side. The first one is going to be a player you might not have heard of. It's going to be from Santos. It's going to be Angelo. Now, this guy can play up front as well, but definitely more comfortable on the right-hand side. And what you're getting here is a player who's got fantastic dribbling, reasonably quick. Again, it is a player, because he is so cheap, he's only 17, and he's only going to cost you about £12 million. It's a player that definitely you need to develop, because his attributes from the first glimpse might not look the best. But like I said, some of these Wonderkids I've included, because if you're playing in like a lower division, then these are going to be really good players for your team. And at the end of the day, you can have that time to make them improve and, you know, eventually turn them in to what they can become. Another option. Now, this guy can play also as a striker, so you're getting 2 in 1. Very similar in terms of when I say you buy them, you have to improve them. That is going to be Hugo Ekitike, I hope that's how you say that, from PSG's second team. Only going to be coming in at around £10 million. So again, a player you have got to develop, although this one does actually have quite good acceleration and pace off the rip. Decent passing, to be fair, for the standard of player we're talking about. But I wanted to include a few of these players because I've got loads of world-class players in, and I had to include them because they are the best Wonderkids. So that is the whole point of this video. I know a lot of these players you are going to know. And as always, as I said before, if you do want to see a video purely focusing on players like this, then do comment below something along the lines of, can you make a sort of, you know, cheap Wonderkids video, etc., etc., and I'll happily do it. Well, is it the Premier League star boy? That is going to be Bukayo Saka. Obviously, a player who picked up a lot of stick for just pathetic reasons. Obviously, taking that amount of pressure to take a penalty in that scenario. I'm glad it didn't get to him because he is now better than ever. And what a player he is. This is the one player where I struggle to get a value on. But I imagine you're looking at quite a lot. Probably getting on for around the £100 million mark because Arsenal would not want to sell him at all. He is absolutely rapid. Literally fantastic. Finishing could do with a little bit of improvement, as it can do. He is going to improve a fair bit. Good technique, good work rate, good vision, good off the ball. Can play on either side of the wings. Obviously, he can play deeper, but in my opinion, a little bit of a waste. So if you are going to get Saka, don't disrespect him. Play him up top or play him on the wing, because trust me, this guy's an issue. Now, Ansu Fati, a player who, to be honest, I've never really got on well with in Football Manager, but I know some people have. Between 39 and 57 million pounds, only 19 years of age, absolutely rapid, very good finishing as well for a winger, can play anywhere in the front three, left, centre and right. So in my opinion, this is a fantastic choice purely based off that. Great technique, decent long shots as well, to be fair to him, decent off the ball as well, amazing flair. So you are already buying a player that is absolutely sensational, and you've got the potential to improve that. Now, Villarreal's Yeremy Pino, again a player that can play on the left and the right hand side. This guy, again, is absolutely fantastic. Around 69 million at the age of 19. This guy, again, I mean, some of the options you have on the wing to sign this year, guys, are absolutely outrageous. That is going to be around about 70 million, as I did say. 14 acceleration, 14 pace, a little bit slower, but again, can develop into a better player. In my opinion, it would probably go, taking value into account, at the moment, I would go Fati, Saka, and then this guy. But trust me, this guy as well is definitely worth picking up if you can afford him. Now, we're going to quickly go over the next two, because obviously this video is getting quite long now, and we do want to focus on the strikers. I'm going to include 2 cheap options, just in case you're a bit annoyed that some of these players have been too upper echelon and too expensive. The first one is going to be Ernest Poku, a player you will have to develop yourself, because apart from pace and acceleration, and to be honest, a touch of agility, this guy does need a lot of work, but he can get there. He has got great potential. I have looked into this, and again, it's a player that you can play anywhere along the front three. Now, the another player is going to be Ryan Serki from Lyon. Now, this guy is going to be a slightly more expensive player, 18 years of age, 15.5 million. He's got slightly better attributes from the rip, a little bit slower, but he makes up for it in terms of his dribbling, first touch, technique. He's a little bit more of a technical player rather than just pure pace. And this guy, again, can get to 3-star potential or above that, depending on how you develop him. And very similar situations to the previous player. You are signing a player that might not be incredible when you first get him, but if you manage him and develop him right, he can become your star boy. Going over to the strikers, and Dortmund have a couple, and the first one is going to be Ademi, obviously a player who we all know He was incredible last Football Manager, and he's going to be incredible this Football Manager. Already absolutely rapid. 18 acceleration, 18 finishing, 19 determination. 13 finishing is the only thing which I'd say could do with a little bit of work. He is going to cost you around 58 to 82 million pounds. A player who I'm not surprised, I've not seen him more often sort of advertised as one of the best options you can have, purely because he can play in 4 positions very comfortably. That is going to be João Pedro from Watford. Considering he's only 30 million as well, this guy, in my opinion, is a great option to have. His finishing's the only situation where he might let you down and you do need to develop. So in my opinion, I would prefer to play him actually on the wing, but he can play up front as well. Reasonably quick, got good flair, got good first touch, I mean, good technique as well. Everything else is fairly well-rounded. So, like I said, it's very difficult because I don't just want to include the top expensive players. This player is probably one of the cheaper options we have, but the thing that makes him so good in my eyes is the fact that he can play 4 positions. He's only 20, he's only going to cost you 30 million, and already he's got some very good attributes. Well, Moukoko, in my opinion, one of the best Wonderkid strikers you can possibly get. And for 31 to 37 million, I do think that's a little bit of a lie. I think you can easily double that for what you're realistically going to get him for. But he is absolutely incredible. He's rapid from the start, 16 acceleration, 15 pace, 16 finishing as well, good technique. I mean, he is absolutely nuts. And for that price tag, you've got to take into account as well, he's only 17. So you've easily got 10 plus years worth of a striker there. And the last player of the video is going to be Benjamin Sesko, previously a Wonderkid as well. As we do know, this player strikes me more of a, not a hold-up striker, but reminds me a bit like Haaland in the sense he's a bit bigger, still reasonably quick, great jump and reach, good off the ball, very good finishing. 19, he has got a transfer agreed on here, obviously, and in real life. So I don't know, roughly, I'd say around 40 to 50 million, which I think is a very fair price. This guy can grow to around 4 stars as well. So very similar to Moukoko, but slightly different in terms of, I'd say, how they play. Mokoko's a more sort of pacey, probably getting behind striker. Sesko's more of a abrupt, you know, brute type of barge people off and then go through and score. But guys, that is going to be all of the Wonderkids broken down. Now, do not get offended if your Wonderkid has not been put in this video. There were so many. You can see this video is already over 30 minutes. So if you guys want to see a part 2 where we go over some of the Wonderkids I haven't talked about, then do comment below and let me know. But please do leave a like on this video. We're doing loads of content at the moment, loads of live streams as well. So do stop by them as well. And please do subscribe to the channel. But that is going to be it for me today, guys. And I will see you in the next one.